Oh, here we go. Whew. Man, oh man. It is a hot one today, that's for sure. I got 2 happy chickens right down here. They are having a wonderful time cleaning up the mess that the ducks made. Whew. Well, I don't know if it's hot where anybody else is, but I know it's hot here, and it's not even 90. But the humidity is up, and there's not a cloud. Well, maybe there's a couple of clouds, but they're not offering much buffer between us and the sun. Hey Trish, how you doing? I hope you're staying cool. It is quite warm, and hopefully I don't sweat too much. I do have a small breeze blowing through. You have a few minutes, but wanted to say hi. Oh, okay, I understand. Well, thank you very much for stopping in, Trish. I appreciate it. That's good. That's good. I know it's crazy, isn't it? There's so much that needs to be done. Oh, there's so much going on. It is so crazy. I will tell you this much. Remember last week I mentioned about my guineas disappearing, and I only had the one left. She has been rehomed. I took her to one of my Amish friends. He has remaining male, and he is certain it is a male. It's a white guinea, and so I'm hoping that she and him will be happy together. And we'll just, time will tell. If they are happy together, then he may be sending some fertilized eggs my way, or some keats. It all depends. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I felt really bad for her because she was constantly making that calling to the others, and none were going to respond. There's still that slight possibility that I've got a couple sitting down there in a couple of nests. But this week, driving on my road, I saw a whole mess of guinea eggs that had been eaten on the road. Now, I have no idea what animal takes an egg from a nest, drags it up to where it's clear. Okay, there's no brush, it's on the road, and eats it there, rather than eating it at the nest or a short distance from the nest. I don't understand that. I know raccoons will carry things off, but they usually go down to the water where they can wash it. So at least that's how I understand it. So I have no idea what critter was taking the eggs from the nest and bringing them up to the road. The guys guessed either a skunk, or I don't know if a mink would do that, a skunk or a possum, but I have seen a possum here, but I've not seen or smelled any skunks at this point in the game. I have not. So your guess is as good as mine. I'm not aware of any animal that does that. I've seen Gracie carry eggs off, but she doesn't really do much with them. And she hasn't been down there to, find eggs and enjoy them. So now I don't know if they are from a nest that had a guinea on it or not. They do not appear to have been fertilized, either that or they just were never sat on. I don't know. I really don't know. Oh, now the goats are going to be vocal. They were out earlier and then they all went back in. I don't know what they're being vocal about. If the herd does not stay together, then one of them will have a fit and start calling. I had something good this morning happen. And that is for the first time ever on this property since we've been here. First time ever. I heard a rooster crow. Mind you, it was a young rooster. And if you've ever heard a young rooster crow, you know exactly what I'm talking about. I only heard it this morning. Nothing has tried to crow since. I suspect I know where the crow came from. And I'm very happy to have a crow. Very happy. I do not know what I am going to do with the particular rooster or roosters. Duck, don't you even think about trying to get in here. They wreak havoc when they come in here. I got one spot that is not secured. I mean it, Duck. Don't you even try to come in here. They know where the feed is. They know the feed is in here. And right now, I do not have a barrel. Thomas Schmidt Homestead Project. Hi. First crows are funny. Yes, they are. And I love them. So we'll see what happens with the roosters. They're not really part of my breeding program, but Duck, get out. Just a second here. All right, where is it? Go. Get. It's not what I was looking for, but I get the message across. I'm just making noise. I got the message. I don't want the ducks in here. Like I said, they wreak havoc. Bye, Trish. I'll see you next time. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you very much, Trish. Oh, yeah, okay. Anyway, yeah, the ducks make just a terrible mess. Until I get the feed correctly stored, I got to try and keep them out of here, which is why I've been keeping the door flap zipped closed so they're not coming in. But I couldn't sit in here with it closed. I had to open it up so I'd get a little bit of a breeze anyway. Yeah, so these guys, I think there's one for sure is a rooster, and I'm not real sure about the second one. It may be. I'm trying to get a good look at its neck feathers. But yeah, they're not part of my breeding program. They're just barnyard mutts. Now, I don't mind having some barnyard mutts, and we'll see if they behave themselves. They may be allowed to stay. I may offer one to a friend of mine who I know they have chickens. I know they have hens. I do not. Yeah, so, let me see here. What else has been going on? Well, as you all know, I drive Amish construction crew company to their the jobs, and it's an interesting job. It's part-time, and it's exactly what I don't want any more than what I got. They're a good bunch of guys. They treat me well, and they're very understanding about stuff going on right now with me. Anyway, they did a roofing job this last week. And they put this person ahead of another job because they were in a hurry. Their roof was leaking. They needed the roof done. Okay. And so they did. They bumped them up so they could work on these people's roof. And they figured it would be a day job. It wasn't a very big roof. And it wasn't, but it had been put on incorrectly from the beginning. So they had to take it off and put it back on correctly. They got the materials they needed. And the people said, okay, let's have at it. So they went and did it. They did the job. And unfortunately for them, there were showers forecasted for that evening. Okay, for that evening. I checked the weather every morning. And they were caught at about 1 o'clock. It might have been 12:30, 1 o'clock, and around there, with a fast-moving storm. And they were not the only ones that were caught off guard by it. There were some other people in the area that were too, that we happened to be talking to afterwards. And they rushed as fast as they could to get something on that roof. Well, rain got in still, some. And it wasn't that bad. Bear in mind, this roof had been leaking before they did the job. Okay. Well, that brief little storm, they caught them off guard after they took the roof down, and they were almost finished getting the underlayment on when it skies opened up, and now the people refuse to pay because supposedly the house is ruined. Well, it's not ruined. My guys offered to repair the drywall in the ceiling, okay, at no extra charge, even though they don't feel it was their fault, okay. They still offered to repair the drywall at no additional cost, so long as they got paid for the work that they did. These people are refusing to pay. Now, I don't know about you, but you know what? They did a job that was agreed upon. The rain that happened was not forecast. It was, like I said, rain was later in the evening. And even in the newspaper said PM showers. I checked the weather. It said PM showers. I was caught by it off guard. I was working out here, and I heard thunder, and I went in to check the weather because I wasn't expecting any rain until later, much later, and checked the radar, and sure enough, here was a shower. It wasn't a very big one on the radar. It's just a small one heading right for us came right through where the guys had been working. It's just one of those freak ones. So anyway, needless to say, since they didn't get paid, I didn't get paid. And I've told the guys before, so long as gas is covered, sometimes things happen. I'm okay. And they managed to come up with enough money to put gas in the tank. Let's face it. The gas tank doesn't care if you get paid or not. If it ain't got the gas, it ain't going to run. So, that's very important for them to have gas in the tank. So we had planned on heading to a place about 2 hours from here. Oh, it was 2 hours? Or was it an hour? No, that place was about 2 hours from here. Somebody had some bottle calves for sale. And there's a couple of the guys that were interested in getting one or two. So we were going to go and get some. Don't have the money to pay for them now. So needless to say, we're not getting any cabs. Now, whether or not there's any available when they do a job that they get paid for, we'll see. But it's not happening today. It's not happening this week. Not likely. So now, what else has happened? My husband had his first visit with a cardiologist since his hospital stay. And we've got some good news in that the problem with his heart can be fixed, totally cured. It's going to involve a surgical procedure. I don't even know if you really call it surgery. I guess you might consider it surgery because I think they have to put him under. But it involves running a line, I think, through the arteries and up to the heart or something like that. And they do some kind of electrical thing in his heart, and it cures the condition. So he's scheduled to go in for this procedure, and he's going to stay in the hospital overnight. And that's in early July. But once that's done, he only has to stay on blood thinners for a month after the procedure, and then he doesn't have to be on it anymore. That right there was incredible news, because when he was in the hospital, they were saying that he was going to have to stay on this for the rest of his life. And the one kind that they really wanted him to be on is very, very expensive. And there was no way we could afford it. No way. This first dose, they managed to find some kind of a coupon or something where he could get his first batch for free. So, that got him through that. And then since it's going to be, a short-term thing, the cardiologist that he went to this last week, he had free samples of the drug that he gave him. So that was wonderful, because there was no way we did not have the money. Oh, flies and the wasp, and go away, bugs. Go away. Oh, you're a mud dauber. You're welcome. That's the first mud dauber I have seen all summer. Well, summer, spring, whatever. That's the first one. Mud daubers are very welcome. Ever since I accidentally smashed a mud dauber nest and I saw all those small black widow spiders in there. Okay. Mud daubers are very welcome here. So we leave the mud daubers alone. Oh, you're not putting a mud dauber nest there. Oh, honey, I don't want you putting a nest there. That's not a good place. Oh, my Latigo strap for my saddle. That's not a good place for a mud dauber. Of course, granted, I haven't been doing a lot of riding. Honey, yeah, we're going to have to find another place for your nest. That's all there is to it. I know. Oh, I hate that. It's like I've got a bird nest in right here. Do you see the bird nest? I don't know if the mom is in there or not. I try not to bother it. I try not to go over there much. It's like, honey, that's not a good place for a nest. I really don't want you in there. There are already eggs in there. So it's like, what are you going to do, right? So, now my thing is saying that there's 7 or 8 people in here and nobody's talking to me. I hope somebody says hi at least. So anyway, let me see here. Between the guys losing money on that job, my husband going in for surgery. He's got to have the COVID test done again. Even though he had one done and it came back negative, he still has to go and have another one done before the procedure. And he's got to have blood work done. But they're also checking. He lost more weight. Now, I could understand him losing weight before he went into the hospital. Okay, because of what was going on, and he really wasn't eating very good. But since he got home from the hospital, he's been eating very well. Okay, He hasn't turned anything down. As far as I know, he's been eating 3 meals a day. And when I cook dinner, he eats a good portion about what he used to eat. So I was very surprised to see when they weighed him that he had lost weight. So they're going to be checking a few things with blood work, and we'll mention that to he's got an appointment with his regular doctor coming up, and we'll talk to him about that too. Ah, the ducks got in. I wasn't paying attention. Get out. Get. Go on, get. I'm not hitting the ducks. I'm just making noise, okay? And don't hit the ducks. All you need to do is make a loud noise. Hit the feed bag, because they made a terrible mess. And I definitely have more drakes than I do hens. So a decision is going to have to be made about the drakes because, I'm sorry, people, but you only need so much testosterone on a farm. And if you have more than enough, then that causes problems. It can cause some serious problems, especially for the hens. So I'm sorry, I'm not going to put them through it. I suspect I only have enough hens to warrant 1, maybe 2 drakes. I'm not sure about the second one. I'm going to wait until their carbuncles mature a little bit better before I actually make a final decision. But these boys, they're a good size, I'll tell you. If anybody wants to buy a Muscovy Drake, I may be selling some. Well, I sold 2 for sure, but yeah. We'll see what happens, but one way or another, get. One way or another, they're going. Okay, they can't stay. Okay, you're going to sit there quietly and enjoy the cool air? Fine, you can do that. Just stay away from my feed bags. That's all I ask. Really shouldn't be even allowed in here because that's one thing about ducks. They poop a lot. Okay, and it's nasty poop. Oh, okay. So then, I'm working on the hen house, and it's coming along very slowly. Now don't. I mean it. Don't. Boy, he's got big feet. I wish I could show you because he's got big feet. And I think that's one I want to keep too. I kind of picked, a couple that I thought were, yeah, just go ahead and poop right there. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and I think he's one that I was seriously considering keeping because I want color in my flock. We will stick with chickens. No ducks welcome here. Well, these ducks, they're Muscovies, okay? And they are supposed to eat their weight in flies and mosquitoes. It says here in fine print. I've only seen them go after a few. I'm trying to not feed them so much regular feed, especially in the morning, so they get out and forage more. But honestly, I think I'm seeing more foraging from the chickens than I am from these ducks. Now, I don't know. Maybe it's because it's not really the strain of Muscovies that I wanted. These are the white ones, which are bred to be a little bit larger, and they're more for meat. The smaller ones, the splashes, I think they tend to be a little bit smaller, and they can maneuver a little bit better. These guys are huge, So I may try to focus on breeding them down in size. We'll see. I'll have a better idea once they're a little closer to maturity as to how I want to do that. But yeah, if I could get my hands on a splash drake, I'd get rid of all these drakes and just keep the hens, But anyway, yeah, so they're supposed to be a fly control plans, what they're supposed to be. And I don't know. I'm just not seeing it. They're sticking close to the cabin. There's all kinds of flies in their pen, around their pen area because of their poop. And I'm just not seeing them focusing on the flies as much as I'm focusing on the chicken feed. So maybe I should have been feeding them, what do you call it? Mealworms instead, so they get a taste for insects. But yeah, because there's a fly right there, and it's not, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so the ducks also, they make excellent mothers. They're really easy to breed. The hens sit very well, and they hatch their brood, and they take very good care of them. They're excellent mothers. So that's another reason I went with the Muscovies, because some of the other breeds, their broodiness have almost been bred out of them. So so they're self-propagating. But that's what I want. Easy, There is a market around here, from what I understand, for the Muscovies. Successfully sold 2 drakes at an auction recently. And we'll see what happens with these other guys. I may have to build some crates for send them off, because they are really big. Did I say they're big? They're big, hello, Michigan Daffodil. Want to buy a Muscovy Drake? Guys, come on. Get. I don't know what you're after. There's nothing in there for you. Just as long as they don't dig into the feed bags. I got it. They don't mess with the alfalfa so much, but some of the other stuff, the chicken feed they got into. And I'm hoping I got enough chicken feed left to do me until I get paid, since they got into it. But the wonderful thing is, at least with the chickens, they are now mostly free-ranging. They're still young, but they're fully feathered. I have one batch that I just moved into the former guinea pen to get them out of the brooder box. Because, yeah, oh, by the way, I'm not hitting the ducks. I'm just making noise. That's all right. Michigan Daffodil. It's like, it happens. I mean, I can't keep up with all the live streams. I mean, I've seen where there's been like 4 or 5 live streams going on at the same time, and I like all these channels. It's like, I can't do it. How do you pick? How do you choose? It's like, you know what? I'll watch them afterwards, So, and that is if I have time. And lately, I haven't had a whole lot of time, But, it's a busy time of year. And I did manage to do some editing. So there will be at least one video up and coming. I'm hoping I can get another one edited, because it's just too hot to work outside. If I'm working outside in the sun, I get sick. So I got to be careful. I did some work this morning on the chicken coop, the hen house, before it got hot. Once that sun got up over the ridge, it was starting beating down. I had to quit. It's like I got one more board on, and I had to quit. I had to come in, and I'll work on it again tonight at dusk, after the sun gets down over the trees behind us here, because that's west back there. Okay. Yeah, I'm being ignored by the ducks now. Like, what's the point? So anyway, yeah, and then I'll work on it some more. It's going to be kind of piecemeal. Yeah, it's. Yeah, I hear you, Michigan Daffodil, and it's when it gets hot. It's like, what are you going to do? And I can't afford to get sick. I really can't. And if I allow myself to get sick in the heat, if I push myself, I'm down for a couple of days. It's like, no, I can't do that. I don't have time. So I got to be careful. I do what I can in the early morning. And then, in the midday when it's the hottest, I'm like staying where it's cool, and then in the evening after we get done feeding and everything, then I can do other stuff, like working on the hen house or weed trimming. I got more weed trim to do. So, it's, you do what you can. Also, we got to keep the water trough filled. I've been, you and I are old enough to know how to take breaks if needed. Yeah, you have to, because otherwise, I mean, what good does it do you to work yourself down to where you're no good anymore? So you have to. And yeah, I've learned over the years, don't push it. Just like this, what you're like, stop. Do something that doesn't require as much physical activity in the heat. And that's what I do. I try to. And when it gets in, above 80 degrees, now if it's cloudy and 80 and it's not too humid, then I can manage. But I mean, once we get up towards 90, I'm not doing it very well. I really am not. So unfortunately things move slower. Exactly. Yeah. Let me see here. So I told you about the guinea being rehomed, and my husband's going back in for surgery. Hopefully all goes well, and optimistic about the outcome there. And then I can stop being so easy on him and getting back to work. My son has been stepping up some for me. He had the shingles on his face and involving his eye. Things are coming along as it's been a long road. And because of the issues with his eye, I was reluctant to get him involved too heavily with the livestock, especially with the horses, because you've got to be aware of what's going on with the horses. But he's been stepping up. He's been feeding the goats for me, and I've gotten him to help me with the hay, because his eye is improving, and hopefully his next visit they'll start to be able to take the stitches out. So there is improvement, thankfully. Like I said, it's been a very, very long road. It's been rough with doctor's appointments and whatnot. It's been a really rough year this last year, medically speaking. And it wasn't the disease as much, because he was going to recover. He didn't experience as much pain as most other people do. It wasn't so bad. Yeah, but it's getting better though. It is getting better. It's everything is starting to come along health wise. Yeah, this thing, I don't know what I did, but it's right here on the joint. I don't know. I don't remember if I hit it with a hammer or I smacked it with a board or something. I don't remember. I remember doing something. I don't remember exactly what it was. And it wasn't getting better. And it's like, finally I got the brace, and I was like just putting the brace on, a little bit. And it wasn't getting better. So I figured, you know what, maybe I better wear the brace a little bit more often. And I don't know if I should get it x-rayed or not. It's fine as long as I don't twist my wrist. So, the brace is keeping it from really twisting too much, but I can feel it, but at least I can use it. So that's the important thing. So I can't afford to be down for anything. So I'm kind of reluctant to go and have it x-rayed. If it improves, and it seems to be a little bit, I'll give it another few days and see what happens. Hey, don't you dare. Go. Getting a little bit too close to that feed bag. The bag that this feed came in is a thinner, it's a bag that they can easily tear into. So I stuck it into one of the heavier plastic bags, and they can't seem to get into that. No. I think right now they're after whatever spilt on the floor. Maybe some seeds in the hay. So anyway, let's see. Was there anything else that went on this week? This week has been just feels like it's been crazy. I tell you that the ducks destroyed my peppers. Well, it looks like there's one pepper plant that is hanging on. So I might still get some peppers. Hi, Carl. We're trying to survive the heat, Carl. That's what we're just trying to survive the heat. My husband is going in for another procedure on his heart, and hopefully all goes well. And if everything goes well, then he can come off the blood thinners, which is, I mean, to be on blood thinners on a farm when there's stuff that needs to be done, not really the best thing. So I will be much happier with him off the blood thinners. Get out. Oh, you don't like that one anyway. That's alfalfa. You goofy duck. I tell you, when I saw them getting into my peppers and destroying my peppers, I was like right then and there, just about ready to have roast duck. Get. I was going to try and buy some more peppers, but pepper plants, that is. And needless to say, that didn't happen. So, what are you going to do? Go on. Oh, they're so big. Man, oh man, it seems like every day they're bigger. Significantly. Let me see here. Yeah, so since we haven't had a lot of rain, we've had some rain, but not a lot, the pop-up storms and whatnot. We've been filling the water trough for the livestock I have an electric pump. It's just, is it a half horsepower? I don't know. It's just a small one. And it doesn't have an on-off switch. You have to turn it on and off. You got to plug it in and unplug it. Okay. And so I hand pump from the well into a 5-gallon bucket. And then it's got this plate that goes on the hose into the 5-gallon bucket. And that will pump it down to the water trough. So that's how I fill the water trough. On there, hand pumping the well, and then my husband's down there and let me know when it's full. And that's how we're doing it right now. I got the paperwork for the cost share program to try and get a rainwater catchment systems installed. I have been so busy, I have not had time to send the guy an email to, find out some more details. Like, am I supposed to get somebody, is there anybody in the area that does this kind of thing? I'm not comfortable in setting this up myself. Definitely not doing the gutters. Okay. Like that's up there. Me in heights. I said, no, I'm not doing the gutters. Definitely getting somebody else to do the gutters. Anything that's, from here up, no, I ain't doing that. I just get somebody else to do it. So hopefully I can get that. Things are starting to calm down. Like I said, I was able to edit a video today. So that will be coming out later this week. And I also had one out yesterday. You saw the ducks. You saw how fast they grow. That was what I wanted to show you guys. I mean, it's like you blink and they're another 20 pounds. Well, maybe not 20 pounds, but you know what I mean. Okay. It's like these guys, I don't think they have there's no down left on them whatsoever. They're just waiting for their flight feathers to pull in. But they're getting close. Their flight feathers are almost there. Now the drakes, they are probably going to be too heavy to fly. But the hens, they will fly. And that's what I want. Is like, I want to get them down to the pond, but at the same time, I'm kind of reluctant to do that until they can fly. And once I see them flying, at least the hens anyway, then I'll try and get them down to the pond so they know where the water is. Because right now they've been hanging out up by the cabin, and it's something I want to discourage. I really do. And at one point, there's going to be a fence around my cabin to keep livestock away from the immediate area around the cabin. Yeah. Can you hear them? Can you hear them going at it? And there's flies buzzing around. Don't even think about it. I'm watching you. Everything's on the ground. You're allowed to clean up what you spill. If the chickens didn't get it all. It's hard to believe that they can get anything with their bills, but they can. Anyways, anybody have any questions or anything? Because I've just been rambling on, and mostly about these crazy ducks, you know. Oh, and by the way, these ducks, they don't taste like other ducks, okay? I went to a dinner once where that's the kind of duck that they served, and they taste more, in my opinion, okay, just my opinion, I think they taste more like turkey than they do duck. Let me see, I can't hear them. I'm outside in the breeze and birds chirping. Oh, okay. That's all right. They're a quiet duck. Normally, they don't make a whole lot of noise. They make a hissing noise, and that's why if I'm going to have ducks, it's going to be the Muscovies because they're quiet. Next noise that's going to be on the farm here is roosters crowing. I can't wait. I tell you, I am really loving my chickens. They're still chicks. They're not laying. They won't lay probably till November if I'm lucky. So I should have the hen house done by then, I should hope. Oh, man, I tell you, I have more delays than anything else. I've been really enjoying having the chickens. They're running around. I've been greatly enjoying the goats. I let the goats free range. Is that crazy or is that crazy? But they come out. I leave the fence partially open where the horses are. I just string the one top electric wire, and the goats can go underneath it. So the horses are confined, but the goats are allowed to free range because they always come back. They go out, they do whatever it is they do while they're looking for tasty browse, and so I'll let them out there, and then they come back, and they're in for the evening. Now, if I think they have a notion to come out of the pasture in the evening, I'll lock them in because I don't want them out free ranging at night or in the evening even, because that tends to be when we get some undesirable animal traffic, if you know what I mean. So I just want to keep them safe. But during the day, I'll let them go whatever, and they run around. I like chickens, but hubby would not like that. No, really? Grew up in town, and my country neighbors would not approve. They live close enough to perhaps complain. Well, you know what? The rooster's the only one that's really noisy. And if you give them free eggs, generally speaking, they think it's cool, generally speaking. You know, what you do is you get yourself 2 or 3, okay? Just 2 or 3. And more times than not, the one who didn't like the doesn't want to have anything to do with the chickens, those are the ones who tend to enjoy them most. You know, you just, hey, oh, there's nothing in there for you. Okay. They're, I didn't think that I was a chicken person either until, this is more than a few years ago. I lost my job down in New Jersey. When is what, Carl? His surgery in 2 or 3 weeks? 3 weeks, I think. Maybe it's only 2 weeks. I have to double check the calendar. I really didn't think I was a chicken person. But then when I lost my job, I happened to find where my friend's chickens, who she just let free range and she never really did anything with, I let them she let me have the eggs. I found the nest and she let me have the eggs, and I was hooked. And dogs as pets. Yeah, I grew up in the country, but only 2 pigs once in a while. And I can't get excited about pigs. We have about 100 laying hens, so we are chicken people. Yeah, 100. I'd say you might have a little addiction problem there. But then, you know what? I can't say a thing because I've got the first batch of chicks. That was the what I get. I got 14 chicks. Okay, 2 of which were just barnyard mutts. Okay, 14 chicks, and then I got 25 chicks of the breed that I really wanted. Okay, and then what did I do? I put 2 dozen eggs in the incubator. And I hatched out, what did I hatch out? 16 hatched out. 4 dozen eggs a month to the food. There you go. Why not? I don't know what I'm going to do with my extra eggs yet. I haven't gotten that far ahead. And so anyway, so I had these chicks I hatched out. Now I kept 3. Okay, just 3. But the rest, that's my feet. Sorry, I'm itching a bug bite. Yeah, the rest that I gave about a dozen to my golden neighbor. Okay, because he tried to hatch eggs in his incubator, but I don't know if there's a problem with the incubator or the way he was doing it. His does not have an automatic egg turner. He might not have been turning them as often as he should have. So all kinds of things. So he didn't have a very high success hatch rate for his eggs. So I figured, you know what? He has done so much for me. You know, at least I can do is give him these. You know, I kept 3. I just kept 3. And I gave him a dozen. I only had 1 chick that I think might have gotten crushed. So, which on occasion happens. But you know, that I only lost the 1. So, and now I'm debating. Don't know if I should do this or not. I can get more eggs. I can get more fertilized eggs to hatch. Should I do it? That's the $64,000 question, because I do have, because I haven't canceled the order, I do have more chicks coming, because I wasn't sure I was going to get the 25 chicks I had originally ordered. I wasn't sure I was going to get them because it didn't sound good. So I went and made another order at a different hatchery. And so they're due to come in August. It's like, okay, do I keep those? And okay, let me see here. And we have them pick a family in need when we butcher a pig and donate pork to that family. That is awesome, because that means a lot. I'll tell you, having had to use food banks myself in the past, not for long periods of time, but briefly. What do you mostly get in the way of food donated? You mostly get junk. Okay? High in carbs, very high in carbs, very low in vegetables, and even lower in protein, except for junk protein, you know, stuff that's not really good for you. So that's what you end up getting in a food bank. Just something to fill the belly. And nutrition is not really there so much. So yeah, that is, I'm glad to hear that you do that. Now there are some people that are hard up because of their own choices, but there are some people that really, through no fault of their own, are hard up, and they could really use that little extra, especially if they have kids. You know, if they have kids, that protein makes a world of difference in just their ability to be able to concentrate in school. They need that protein to be able to grow properly. You know, see my above comment about curly dock. I didn't see. Okay, rub curly dock on your bug bite and itch will go away within 20 minutes. Well, I don't have a curly dock in here in the barn. Maybe when I get done, I wonder if that's that. Is that the one that gets really tall and the great big leaves? See, I'm not real sure on my identification. That's why we have them pick the family. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. It's sad that you have some people that are simply taking advantage. And I've seen it, but I've also seen people who really, giving them just that little bit of a handout to get, or even a hand up, it helps them get over the hump, and then they go on. Like I've said, I've had to use food banks in the past, short periods of time, just a short period of time. When my sister, her husband abandoned her with 3 children, she heavily relied on food banks. Okay. Even though she was trying her best to support her and the children. And for a while there, she was not even getting any child support. Things are much better for her now, but for a while there, she heavily relied on food banks. When you go out, yes, with a spike with a broomy green top. Okay. Well, the seed heads, they've seen rich people at the food bank, and that makes us mad. Yeah, exactly. And the fancy cars, hey, you know what? Yeah, you need a car to get around, but you don't need one nearly that fancy. Trade it in for something a little bit cheaper, You don't have to have a big fancy car. And if you got payments on it, well, sell it back. I don't know if you watch Living on a Dime. Was it Living on a Dime to get rich now, I guess is what it is. It's like, a lot of those things that she says, we've done. We didn't get rich, though, because my husband's not quite. Okay. Don't mind me, but I think I'm hearing thunder. And so that means I probably ought to get off of this. I knew that there was a storm heading our way, but I figured I'd had more time. But it's been almost an hour anyway. So, you don't really want to hear me rambling on much more. So, and Google curly dot. I will do that Michigan daffodil for sure. Because if it is the plant I think it is, I got plenty of it. And finally, I got a use for it. Of course, yeah, that's thunder. Okay. So, everybody, I'm sorry, but I'm going to cut this real short right now because I don't want to get caught in the rain with my computer. So, I will talk to you later, okay? Bye, everybody. Stay cool.